Check it out, guys. How beautiful is this? What a morning. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. That's colostrum from yesterday, and now I'm going to put some more milk in it. Good morning, guys. I hope it's not too noisy in here. The chillers are going, cooling down the milk in the vat. So today we are feeding the calves. We're going to go and have a look at the sick ones that I showed you in a couple of videos ago, and I'm just sorting the milk out now. I'm putting it in the feeder. I don't have enough colostrum, so I've got to take good milk that we would normally put in the vat. I've got to take that and put it in the feeder as well. So the drum's pretty full. Now we will put this submersible pump in there. And press the go button. Takes a while to get all the air out. There we go. See it coming through here. Now I always like to check the feeder. Make sure the pipe stays in, so that's good. And there's no milk coming out of here, which is good too. Has happened to me in the past. Lift the float up. Just take a little bit more. Right, that'll do. Fill it up again. And while I wait for that to fill up, I will come and help Dad change these cups. It's actually stopped because most of these cows have finished milking. So the milk goes from the cow straight into that drum at the moment. It's not going through the filter in the plate cooler. We'll change these cups. It's almost time for me to go and get my cows. It's really warm this morning too, which is good. Beautiful morning. Go check on it now, see how full that drum is. Dad's got one row in the yard, so I'm gonna go and get my cows now, which are just straight through there, so not a huge walk this morning. Oh, that's 46. Hey Gil. Hey Gil. Big Yellow's just making her way up. Just through there, that is the calving mob. It's a bit hard to see on here, but there's probably, or as of yesterday, there were 20 cows in that mob. We think there's 2 empty heifers, possibly 3, so that make it 17 or 18 cows left to calve, so not many. We are getting there. We only have probably 8 or 9 cows that aren't going in the vat because they need to have their colostrum wait time, or being milked so many times after calving until they can go in the vat. So that's why we've got to take good milk that could go in there and feed it to the calves. But man, the office is looking good today anyway, far out. It's not quite a bluebird, but it's not far off it. Love being a farmer. You get days where you're soaking wet in the rain, but man, it's pretty hard to beat. But on another note, see these trees there, that one and those trees are Christmas plums, and they're flowering at the moment. It's a bit hard to see, but when they're in full bloom, they're just like white hairs. It looks so cool. So it is the 3rd of September today, so we are into our 3rd day of spring, which is awesome. It definitely feels like it. And the reason there's plum trees here is because this used to be an orchard. There used to be a lot of other trees, but they sort of died over time. Like there's an apple tree there that doesn't produce, but there used to be heaps of trees in here, and these are the only ones that are left. So they're probably, oh, I don't know, they'd be, at a guess, I'd say they'd be 90 to 100 years old probably. Maybe not quite, 80 to 90 years old maybe. So I'm going to go and milk my herd now. Dad's going to take off. He's going to go and shift the calving cows. We'll be back soon to see how many cows are calved today. Hopefully there's a few. See you soon. Dad's just coming up now, so we'll set these gates up for him. It looks like there's only 1 cow, but one is better than none. No, I was wrong, there is 2, so there's another one coming up now. It's good, 2's good. If we could get 2 or if we get 2 every day, we'd be done in 10 days, or about a week, just over a week, so. That's good. They usually sort of straggle in now, you sort of get 1s, 2s, 3. Good condition too. Same with that cow, primo nick. And on another completely different note, these are the gloves I use here for milking. I just get them from Farm Source, Country Mile, and I can't even get through milking without ripping them. They just, I don't know, something's different. They might have changed the recipe, or anybody else find that? Rightio, cows are all milked, so calf feeding time. I just got to put a little bit of milk in here from over in the shed. So at the start of calving we get too much colostrum and we can't use it all, so what we do is we pump it into this tank here and keep it for later in the season when we need more milk. So today I'm starting to feed this out. I'm not going to put much in their feeder, probably going to put 10 or 20 litres and ramp it up over time. They've just got to get used to it in their guts though, so if you put too much of it in, it could make them a little bit crook. So what I do is there is a submersible pump in here down at the bottom, and I just flick the switch and turn it on, which sort of just stirs it up. We don't have a stirrer in here. It would be handy if we did. And I just come up every day and give it a bit of a stir up the top like this, get all the cream moving. So that's looking pretty good now. Ideally in the future I'd love to get a big like stainless steel vat that we can put the colostrum in, have a stir in it and keep it going the whole time. But this does work pretty well for us as is. Now I'll flick that, turn that on. So it just comes out of the bottom of the tank. There's the old pump that I had in my pool. And now, this should work I hope. Yep. Now I'm ready to feed some calves. We've got to move the first lot too. They need a new paddock today. But first there's something else I need to get to add in. This container here has 2.5 kilos in it. So have a guess how much you think that's worth. Well, I started using this probiotics probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago when those calves were getting sick. I wanted to get some at the start, I didn't get around to it, and then that sort of motivated me to buy some and try it out. But I'll touch on that at the end and tell you a little bit more about it. Out of the way, back in the paddock, come on. Up. On it. It's pretty easy to move them because they just follow the feeder. Right, they're all here. Need to get this, give it another shake. See, it's mixed up pretty well now. And now what I do is turn these on. Fill them up a little bit. Hey, a little bit more. There you go, around there. Go find a teat. Right, that'll do. Switch them off and then get this. Give it another shake, and then I just tip it in the, something like that. Here we go, where's your teat? Hey, you need one. And now that they're all drinking, they're all on, I'll give them a little bit more. They're all happy, got milk and they're drinking. I'll just give them a quick count to make sure they're all here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Hey, what are you doing? 10. There we go. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 36, 38, 42. Perfect. So a few videos ago I put up one of the calves being really sick. Go back and watch it if you're new to the channel. I'll post a little button up the top here which you can just click on. And this is the mob here that which were pretty crooked. There's about 7 or 8 that got sick, and they are looking really good now. They're just doing really well. So this was one of the sick ones here. As you can see, she's had a good feed, got a cover over the ribs. Just trying to find a few more. They're a bit hard to tell now. Maybe that one. Just nice thick cover of fat. I think that was one of them too actually. So as you can see, they're doing really well. It did sort of knock them around quite a bit, and they're probably a little bit behind where they should be, or they would be normally, but on a whole I'm just really stoked at how they are now. They're looking really good, and today I'm going to put them on once a day. So I usually feed them in the morning and I would feed them again this afternoon, but today I'm just going to whack them on once a day. So this will be their only feeding, which makes it easy for me in the future because I don't have to feed them in the afternoon. But the reason I'm doing that is because for the last couple of afternoons after I'd sort of drive in the paddock, and I'd say half of them would run up and want to drink, and the other half would sort of be quite stand backish, and they wouldn't come, or yeah, they'd sort of muck around at the teats and wouldn't really drink properly. So I thought, yep, I reckon they're ready to go. So now that they're fed, they're pretty much all finished. I just need to go and drop this feeder. I'll drop it somewhere away from the gate and go and get their meal and hay feeder. pretty happy, eh? And the hay feeder, I really need to weld a little bracket or a loop, bit of a old bit of chain or something in there so I can connect this feeder to that feeder so I don't have to make 2 trips. It would make life a little bit easier. Oh, it's getting hot now. It's definitely like sunscreen weather, this. If I was out in the sun long enough, I reckon I'd definitely get burnt at the moment. There's one thing about the New Zealand weather, and that's our sun is so vicious, so we got to be pretty careful and apply a lot of sunscreen. When me and my wife travelled around Europe, we spent sort of, I think it was about 5 or 6 months travelling around Europe in a van. We didn't put on sunscreen at all really, and we never got particularly that burnt, but yeah, here you'd be crispy. So how much did you think this 2.5 kilos of probiotics is worth? If you had to guess $570, you would be correct. It is pretty expensive stuff, and if I was using it all season, I would need about $1,000 worth. I only bought that when those calves started to get sick. I was pretty keen to try it. I'd heard some good things about it. But what does it do? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I was hoping to get Matt from Probiotic Revolution on video to sort of explain it a little bit. I don't know all the science behind it, but it is supposed to sort of improve gut health. That's the main thing, I think. I was a little bit skeptical to use it too, mainly because I didn't know how I'd be able to see any differences, say compared to last year when I wasn't using it. But I think I have noticed a few things. I think I've been able to put my carbs on once a day that little bit earlier, and I also think they've been able to drink more on it too. So they have done a little bit better, and I have heard from other people too that they've found the same thing. So maybe it's not just me, and maybe I'm not overthinking it. I can actually notice it. So yeah, I'm not giving them a shameless plug or anything either. It's just something I've found useful. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do think that colostrum management is probably the most important calf rearing tool. That's just something I've put on top, which I've found has helped them. So yeah, thought you might find it interesting. Well guys, that's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, that'd be awesome. And I'll see you next time.